Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the happiest hour on earth. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have a special guest coming on tonight. Her name is Rachel from Disney Cable Magic. She's a vlogger and a YouTuber. And tonight we're going to be having her on to chat about her experience at Merriest Nites. So we're really excited to chat with her and get her on here. So let's get started.
So as Emily said, we're so excited to have Rachel on our show to talk about her experience at Merriest Nites. Rachel, I believe, started her channel around the same time that we did. So, 2021, Disney, Instagram and YouTubers. And so super cool and so thankful that she is able to come on and talk about her experience there. But before we have her on, we decided to make a few snacks and a few drinks like normal. This one's kind of weird. The drink is kind of strange.
I'm very interested to see how this one tastes.
Yeah, it's the Tropical Holiday Margarita. So it's a margarita, but it has not just tequila. It has rum, coconut, a whole bunch of stuff. Coconut milk, coconut cream,
some lime.
Crazy.
Not much aside from like the alcohol and some coconut.
Oh, yeah. And a little simple syrup, which we didn't do.
Oh, that's right. That would have sweetened it up a little bit.
But you know what?
So
the Disney Parks vlog didn't say simple syrup, and then the menu said simple syrup. But I think it's going to be sweet enough with the coconut cream. So let's just jump into it. I'm a little nervous, but let's
All right, we're going to give
try
it a shot, guys.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
Wow.
Doesn't even
way
need
better
simple
than I
syrup.
expected. Whoa.
We're not tequila people, but like the tequila is up front. Like I can taste it.
Okay,
but
I'm gonna try it again because I thought
I
it
can
wasn't.
smell it, but it's a lot better than I thought.
Oh yeah,
it's
okay,
creamy.
it was up front.
It's creamy. It's tropical.
That's way
it's
better
exactly
than
what
I
the drink is called.
thought.
Tropical Holiday Margarita. It has a
Whoa,
little bit of the
I am
holiday in
actually
there.
shocked because I was like, as he was making it tonight, I was like, what is this gonna taste like? This is such a interesting drink, and I don't know who came up with it because it's very random. But
I don't even know where the holiday comes from because there's
coconut isn't really holiday.
Yeah.
I think
like
somebody just wanted to make like a tropical drink and add it to the holiday drinks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really have a place there, but it is good. I think it's good.
Yeah. Huge fan. Okay.
Interesting, but better than I expected for sure.
For sure.
So that's that.
We did churros again. Yeah. We're always making churros.
It's a very common theme these days.
Yeah.
We are going to do something exciting next week, however.
Yes.
But tonight, we made churros, not the typical churros. This one isn't even found in the park now.
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
A follower on Instagram sent us a message and said that there used to be a churro called the Sugar Plum Churro. And it wasn't there for very long. But they
loved it. Like his family loved it.
Yeah, they were big fans, and they requested that we try to make it. So it was kind of hard to find, but Chris did a little digging and found
so there's
sort of what it should be.
Yeah, I couldn't find sugar plum like sugar
anything.
anywhere. So like flavoring at all or anything like that. So after looking at some reviews, I saw that the churro almost had like a blueberry taste to it from one of the reviews I saw. So I looked for blueberry sugar. I was like, same color. Someone said that it kind of tastes like that, a sweet and tart churro. So we decided to get that. And then we got our Tio Pepe churros, put them in the oven.
We did not use the cinnamon sugar this time, which usually the ones that we've made in the past were that base with add-ons like the chocolate and the Oreo cookies and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is just the blueberry sugar.
Because I don't think that they had cinnamon in those ones. So I think we should go ahead and try.
I think we should try it.
Say cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
that's really good.
I like it.
It's not as strong blueberry as I thought it was. I think in the park they caked it on, but for some reason the sugar
It doesn't stay on
wasn't sticking.
super well.
Yeah.
I had to really spend some time rubbing it onto the churros to make it stay. But it's actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's different because it doesn't have any of the cinnamon flavor, but I think it's good.
All right, thank you to our follower who let us know about that, because that's really good. And so I could send you the link where we got that blueberry sugar, and you could make one at home. It is probably not going to be exactly the way that Disneyland made it, but hey, it has the color and it has a nice taste to it. A little bit sweet, a little bit tangy.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. So without further ado, I think we should call Rachel up and talk about her
bring her
experience.
on.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, Rachel, how's it going?
Hello, nice to meet you both.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course, thanks for having me.
We put out some feelers. We're like, hey, everyone, like, who's been to Merriest Nites? And we saw that you were, and we'd been following each other for a little bit. And I was like, oh my gosh, perfect.
Yeah,
like, someone who's
found
actually
someone.
I feel like a lot of the Disney people that we know, like, haven't gone too much. And so it's so cool that you got to experience that.
Yeah, it was really great. I haven't been to an after hours party in years. Like I can't remember the last year that I went to one, and it wasn't Oogie Boogie Bash. It was the Mickey's Halloween party at Disneyland.
Okay, like, not so scary. Was that what it was called like back then?
I know that's what they call it in Magic Kingdom. I don't
okay.
remember if they call it the same here.
Names.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it was the first time I've been to one in a while, and I went by myself, so I was a little like hesitant if whether or not I was going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I went. It was a lot of fun for me.
Ooh, okay.
Awesome.
I'm so excited.
It looks like so much fun. Like we've been following a lot of the people that have gone, and I'm like, man, we got to do it one day.
I don't know why we just never decided to go to an after party. I feel like we just always kind of talked about it, but this year, like, we really were like, man, these parties look so much fun. Like, next year we definitely have to go into that.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into that, do you want to tell our listeners just a little bit about yourself and Disney Cable Magic?
Sure. Thank you. So my name is Rachel, and I'm originally from New Jersey. So I'm an East Coast gal. I grew up going to Walt Disney World. And then in 2016, I moved out to California. Like I had an opportunity to basically live anywhere in the continental US. So I was choosing between like Orlando or Anaheim.
Oh my God.
And I picked the West Coast just because my best friend's out here.
Oh, nice.
And I wanted to do a Disney Instagram or a Disney vlog probably since like 2013, I think. Yeah. And I just never had the courage. I wasn't really sure what to do. And I just kind of felt like, well, what's the point? I'm going to fail. But when the parks were closed for over a year, I just missed it so much. And I got a lot of joy out of watching other people's vlogs, whether it was in Disney World or whatever other park was open in the world. And I decided, you know what, like when those parks open and I can get back in through those gates, I'm going to start filming and vlogging my experiences because I want to kind of give back to the vlogging community that helped me through the park closure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Great.
That's so great. I think so many people, I mean, that's kind of how we started too. And I saw a lot of other people who did. It's just, that was like such a rough time where before I think there was one day that Disneyland was closed, out of the decades. And
we all took it for granted until it was closed. And it was like, I thought it was going to be a short time. And then it was like, before we knew it, a year had gone by and over a year. And it was like, we did not realize that the park could even like be closed that long. And it had been one day previously. So it's just, it was nuts. I think everyone was like feeling the tug to start, a Disney page. That was kind of around the time that we did as well.
Yeah. We started following some just influencers just because they had like so many pictures of them at the park and everything. And we're like, that's just one way to get a little bit of a Disney fix. But you started in April, right?
Yeah, I think I started like either end of March or early April. And my first vlog was on opening day at Disneyland. That was the first one that I filmed.
You got to go opening day?
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh.
It was incredible.
So you mentioned that you hadn't been to an after party for years, right? Leading up to this. But if you had to like compare Merriest Nites to any previous ones that you went to, would you say that it was like pretty worth it?
Yeah, I'd say it's worth it. That comes with stipulations, which I guess we can get into later.
Yeah.
But for me, what really sold it is the fact that it's a holiday event. So it's really hard to not feel the extra magic when they're playing like Christmas music all through the park and it's lit so beautifully.
Oh yeah.
So I was feeling kind of Scroogey, but the second I walked through and, they started kicking everybody out and they started turning all the lights on, it was instant joy for me to be there.
That's so nice. With you talking about kicking everyone out, did you feel the difference of like a normal Disney day with kind of an after hours party? Because I think that's one of the nice things about the after hours party is because nowadays, whenever you go into the park, it's just crowd. Like you could say,
packed.
Just go in like this month. Like, it's not as crowded, but even it's just crowded all the time nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like it was
like a lot less crowded than normal?
I think they oversold it. I will say that they only did 5 nights. It's their first ever Christmas party for Disneyland. At Magic Kingdom, I think they do like maybe 20 nights.
Oh, wow.
So I got the impression that since they only did 5 nights for us, that they were going to sell more tickets just to make sure they got their money's worth.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it had the true feeling of an after hours event. But it was definitely less crowded than it has been recently. Like I don't know when the last time you were able to go, but the parks have just been nonstop packed pretty much since they opened.
Yeah.
And it was definitely lighter.
Yeah. We were there in September and we intentionally picked days that we were I think it'll be good. It's like, Monday and Tuesday and no, it was still insane. I was like,
crazy.
well, this is what happens when the park is closed for a year, I guess. Everybody is planning their trips a year out. So it's just always crowded.
Yeah. And I hope that next year they kind of, we'll be able to spread out the days a little bit more and kind of how that feel. Cause we know some people who went to the Disney World one this year and they said almost every ride was walk on.
Yeah.
Which now that sounds definitely worth the price. I'm you get that special holiday magic and limited crowds. That sounds
what were the lines like that night for rides?
They were definitely lighter. I took screenshots randomly throughout the night so I could keep track of what the wait times look like for when I was reporting back for vlogging and such. Right. And I think most of the wait times were around 5 minutes. The rides. Yeah, that's really good lately.
Oh my God, I've missed
You never see that.
That was when I was 10, they were 5 minutes. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I think the big ones were obviously Haunted Mansion that still had 30 minutes, Indiana Jones and Matterhorn, but the rest were pretty much walk on.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so great.
Yeah, that's pretty tempting because you just never see rides that short.
I know.
Yeah.
And I do know, speaking on rides, wasn't I just saw that Star Wars Land was closed during the party, right? So that's hopefully next year they could open it. I mean, imagine Rise of the Resistance with even 30 minutes, especially now that it's standby would be pretty amazing. But that's crazy. Any ride that's 5 minutes, I feel like Peter Pan somehow would still be 30 minutes. It's always 30 to 40 minutes, no matter after hours. It's man, this line just never changes.
Never
it's one of the shortest rides. But so going to this party and like you said, you hadn't been to an after hours party in a while. What was your favorite part? What did you want to experience when you went? Was it the shorter lines? Was it the the holiday parades? Was it just the holiday magics at Disney? What were you going there for, and what ended up being your favorite part of the party?
Well, this one I found particularly tough to plan for because it was the first one. There weren't any other vlogs to really go on, and they didn't release a whole lot of information until you were pretty much in the park. Mm-hmm. I knew that they were doing the 6 parties, so I decided ahead of time that was going to be my focus, was those 6 parties, because that was what was, to me, special about the event.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, I got my little brochure that told me when everything was happening, and I tried to come up with a game plan. There was a lot happening. There were the 6 parties. They were in each land. They went on for quite a bit of time, and there were lots of different holiday treats to try. There were tons of photo ops. Some were worth waiting for. Most were not worth waiting for. So for me, I heard from a lot of people that it wasn't worth it for them. And I think they were the ones that tried to do everything, and there just wasn't time to do everything.
Yeah.
So I made sure to stick to the things that I was I must see these things while I'm here tonight. and it was mostly just those parties. So I made sure to hit up all of them. And by far, like my favorite part of the night was the Muppets caroling. I saw that
awesome.
1 hour in and I was like, money well spent. I'm good now.
Is that
So
in Main
funny.
Street? I've seen videos and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
like all the Muppets like singing. Was that just like going around in Main Street and you just kind of like hope you catch it and you're right there? Or was it like a designated party?
It was a designated party. So they do go down Main Street and they're singing and they're chatting and doing their jokes and stuff. But then it circles around like the main plaza and then comes back and stops at the top of Main Street USA, right in front of the Walt and Mickey statue.
Oh my gosh,
fun.
that's so fun.
That's
And
so cool.
yeah, what were the different parties like? Because I know
was just gonna
the
ask that.
Tomorrowland one was like bumping like that. That looked like a
Yeah,
rave.
with
I saw
Buzz.
videos of that. I was like, Buzz was just going.
You know,
all
like
out.
what
I was like-
locations were they all in? Was it just like in all the different lands, kind of?
Yeah, pretty much. So they had the Muppets were kind of like the Main Street USA, but they also had Christmas carolers with the bells down at the entrance to the park,
Oh,
or like
that's so
right after you
nice.
go through the main gates.
Oh, cool.
And then in Adventureland, right above the Jungle Cruise ride, they had kind of like a Hawaiian feel, like 2-person band playing holiday music, which was really nice and chill.
So fun.
That's so awesome.
Obviously, the Buzz Party, which you could hear that bass pumping
Oh my
from
gosh.
almost everywhere in the park.
That's so good.
And that was a lot of fun. Like I was like, this doesn't feel Christmassy to me.
Yeah.
Why are they having this? But I actually spent a lot of time there. So,
Yeah, if I
And
saw
then,
Buzz dancing,
they-
I'll just like
Like,
spend an
I'm
hour
gonna
watching
hear.
him just go. I'm like, this is incredible.
that's what I did. Like I wasn't even dancing. I was just kind of like fixated.
That is so fun. Oh my gosh.
And then I think the last party was like a Tiana, but Tiana wasn't part of it, but it was her party and it was on the Mark Twain and it was kind of like a jazz band
Oh.
just going around the river.
Oh my
How
gosh, wait,
fun.
were you able to experience that? Because I saw a video from that, and we hadn't been on the Mark Twain. Oh, well,
I don't know if I ever had been actually up until
yeah,
this last
and I
trip.
might have when I was a kid. It was just one of those things where we're growing up. We're like, we have to hit all the rides. And this last time with when we brought our toddler for the first time, we're like, we have to end our trip on the Mark Twain, just around the
The water.
Pirates yeah,
Yeah.
Pirates. What's it? Pirates Lair.
Pirates Lair, yeah.
Pirates Lair. And so, but we went on it, and I saw a video of the jazz band on there, and I was like, the Mark Twain Riverboat already is so amazing, let alone like with a jazz
music.
band. I was like, that looked so fun. Were you able to experience that?
Yeah, I was. And it was really, I don't know, it just really put me in the holiday spirit because it was nighttime. So the lights were so pretty. The music was really chill. And it was, yeah, I really enjoyed that part.
That's
of
so
it.
fun. And
yeah.
were they just playing like your standard like classic Christmas music during that time?
I like jazzy.
It was kind of like jazzy. Some songs I didn't know. It had definitely a New Orleans flair to the music style, with like a live singer and everything. It was just,
Sounds
it was
so fun.
really nice.
That's so fun. Yeah, I would love to experience that.
I totally would too. And just like that view from on the boat, like just
Seeing the whole
seeing
park
everything.
lit up, yeah,
So
with some
beautiful.
music. That's so fun. Oh my
so
gosh.
fun.
And so, what party out of all those was the best?
Yeah. Did you have a favorite?
Oh, you already said the Muppets. But,
yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like the Muppets needs to stand in a class of its
Yeah.
own because it's not even fair to compare anything else to that. I think it was the Mark Twain.
That's so awesome.
I actually even just sat in New Orleans Square for a while, just watching it go by because it was just so pretty,
Oh my gosh.
and the music was so
And
nice.
So could you hear it from kind of outside from the? Oh my gosh,
That's so
amazing.
fun. And you mentioned like you were there by yourself, which must have been kind of weird, but then you could probably also like soak it all in really
Yeah.
well too, which was probably something you hadn't experienced before.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I go to the parks by myself a lot, and I love when I get to go with other people because there's someone to bounce back and forth on. Like, especially when I'm vlogging, it's hard to talk to myself the whole time. But when I go by myself, I get to just focus on what I want to do, and I don't feel like I have to make sure everyone else is happy who's with me.
Yeah.
Pretty selfish, but it is.
I mean,
It's Disney. You got to do what you want to do.
yeah, seriously. And I feel like I went once, or like maybe separated from my family, like
You
when
just were like-
I was a kid. But I mean, I guess that felt nice because that was probably in my teenage years, and I was like, by family, and I just got to experience it by myself. But it's just so cool. Like, it's just so
totally different experience, I'm sure. I don't think I've ever done it by myself, but it would be pretty fun.
We should go one time and just split off for a couple hours and just get experience today. But when it comes down to, because I think one of the biggest deterrents for some people is, you know, 4 hours. Is it like 8 to midnight, right? But you get to go in a little bit earlier. So some people are like, okay, 200-ish bucks.
Ticket is
like more than a ticket and only for 4 hours. Would you say it's worth the cost? And would that depend on the person, I guess, too, right? Like, I feel like some people would be like, definitely not. But some people, depending on kind of what feel or vibe they're going for, maybe it is. But what was that like for you?
So I think like the cost has to be, it's a very specific opinion to each person and what they're looking to get out of a day at Disney or a specially ticketed event. For me, I was going to do it whether I thought it was worth it or not, just because I wanted to go to an after hours event and I wanted a chance to vlog it. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing that people have to do, I think anyone can make it worth it for them. They just have to know going into it what is important to them and know that they're not going to be able to do everything. And that's okay. And Disney wants that. They don't want you doing everything on day one because you're not going to come back, right? So for me, going on the rides wasn't important for me because I go to the parks quite often and I go on the rides all the time. So I thought, like, I don't need to spend my time here tonight doing things that I can do any other day. I want to do the things that are special for tonight. So I focused on that. I didn't try to eat every treat that was there because the lines do get long for those. So I picked like 2 that I wanted to try. And then to be honest, like the thing for me that really stood out that wasn't worth it, where they had a lot of photo ops where it was just kind of like a backlit screen that you stood in front of for each of the different lands. And I was like, you know, I get that it's an extra photo op, but I could just Photoshop myself in front of this. I don't need to actually wait in a 20-minute line.
So did they also have, because I guess it was it the Disneyland one or the Disney World one? I saw a couple of like characters you hardly ever get to see. So did they have those like photo ops with the kind of like the random background as well as, you know, kind of
like
some
meeting characters?
Well?
Yeah, so they did have character meet and greets, and they were semi-rare characters that you don't always get to see in the park. And it is that kind of socially distant meet and greet, but it's still one-on-one, which is nice. They weren't always doing the one-on-one. So you had to wait in line and they had a photo pass photographer there to take your picture with them. I didn't really do any of those, mostly just because I get a little camera shy when it's just me talking to characters by myself.
Just trying to make it. But that's good. Yeah, because I think that's interesting that you brought that up, and now it makes so much more sense why the lines are so short. And you bring up a good point of that, like, you could do rides anytime. Yes, you might have to wait a little bit, but if you're paying that extra amount for an after hours party, you should really focus on the things that are going to be there exclusively for the party. So
I read somewhere or heard somewhere that in Disney World for their holiday party that there was like some free snacks and drinks and things like that. Did Disneyland offer anything like that? I didn't see anything. No.
No, we didn't get anything.
Gotta pay for everything.
Yeah, I remember thinking, like, I really want that free snickerdoodle on that hot chocolate.
I know, I feel like hot chocolate they could do. Come on.
You're paying $200 for taking a toss a cookie in there. Like,
actually, going back to that just Disney World versus Disneyland, so you grew up going to Disney World. When you decided to come over to the West Coast, had you been to Disneyland a couple times, or what was the determining factor? Was it just weather? Oh, your best friend, you said, right? But was weather a factor too? Because we've only been to Disney World once.
The weather is rough over there.
I think we got a good time. Like, we were there a lot. I don't know. I just hear horror stories of Florida, and our time was like pretty great compared to those, but it still was like pretty crazy.
Yeah, like the weather never scared me from Florida. Because I grew up in New Jersey, so we have like horrible storms, hurricanes, blizzards, everything up there. And I kind of actually miss the thunderstorms and the heavy rain. So I think I enjoy that at Florida.
Yeah.
But it really just came down. It came down to two things, actually. One was that my best friend was out here. So I thought if I'm moving somewhere completely new, it'd be nice to have someone there that I can lean on if I need to.
Sure.
And then also my husband, he's Canadian, but we were long distance for most of our relationship. And he's on the west coast of Canada. So it was just put me a little bit closer to him.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
That's so great.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Aw.
Yeah.
So fun.
Finally got to bridge that gap with him.
Yeah.
So you've been in California for how long now?
Coming up to 6 years now.
Wow.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're lifelong Californians.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like we need to move. I feel like I'm ready to make that move to SoCal. I feel like
Yeah.
I just miss
I
the
know.
park so much. It's
Yeah, it
hard
would
to
be great to live
travel
closer.
with a little baby.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
we're close, we only have to do like an hour drive, and he'll be totally fine with that.
I mean, it's
so.
always been hard doing that drive down there. The flight is easy, but sometimes it's just better to drive, but it's such a long drive. Like, we should
Is
just
it,
live
like,
closer.
11,
Like 6
13 hours.
hours.
Oh, 6 hours.
No,
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
California is
It's not
about 6.
horrible, but
But it's weird because like
Traffic is
people
just
in
nuts.
Nevada, like we know another like Disney podcaster or podcast duo. They're also a husband and wife. They were in like kind of LA County, but they're moving to Nevada in Las Vegas County, but they're still closer to us who also live in California. California's just like a weird long state. So like
Yeah.
you could be like further than people in Arizona and Nevada. It's so strange, but I'm like, yeah, hopefully like a few hours closer. I'd be totally down with that. But
Yeah.
I think that was pretty much all of our questions.
That was pretty
Rachel,
much
it's
it.
been such a great time talking to you. Do you want
Yeah.
to let us or let our listeners know where they could find you and your channel, your Instagram, all that good stuff?
Sure, yeah. My handle for pretty much everything is Disney Cable Magic, cable like television cable. And I have an Instagram and a YouTube channel.
Awesome.
And again, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on.
All right, have a good
You
one.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for being on the happiest hour on earth. We had so much fun talking with you. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge about Merriest Nites.
Yeah. So anyone who's listening, go follow Disney Cable Magic on Instagram, on YouTube, all that good stuff. She is great and has some great content. So we're so excited that we got to talk to her. We've met some amazing people ever since starting this podcast. And Rachel has just, it's been great getting to know her and talking to her tonight. So definitely go ahead and follow her. And we will see you guys. We are going to be back next week. The week before Christmas. So crazy. We're going to be talking about
One more Christmas topic.
one more Christmas
before
topic.
The day has arrived.
And we are so excited to hear your guys' thoughts on this because we're going to be breaking down all of our favorite Christmas movies that are on Disney Plus, but then also a short segment on those that aren't Disney Plus. But
Disney.
it's cool because Disney
Really.
Plus has like Christmas movies that aren't even Disney. Like I know I grew up with Jingle All the Way. That's on Disney Plus now because it's Fox. Like they have such an eclectic
Wide
group of Christmas
range.
movies on there. Yeah.
Yeah, they
love
do
it.
have a lot, but there's a lot that's not as well. So we're just gonna chat about a few of those that we love.
Oh yeah, so get your list ready because we're gonna discuss some Christmas movies and it's gonna be great.
We are, yes. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend and week, and we'll see you next time.
Next week, yeah, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.